I'd first like to thank Chairwoman Brooks for holding today's hearing on interoperable communications. I believe it'll be our last hearing together, but I want to thank you for your leadership and your cooperation working in a bipartisan manner on these issues.
Thank you.
Representing New Jersey's 10th Congressional District, our constituents who were among the first to respond to the attacks on the Twin Towers on September 11th. On that terrible day, first responders from multiple jurisdictions across disciplines heroically put themselves in harm's way to save others. Responding to a disaster of this scale was hard enough. The absence of reliable, effective communications during the response further complicated matters. In the years since 9/11, the federal government, along with the state and local governments, has made significant investments towards achieving interoperability. During Hurricane Sandy, the response we saw was an improvement in cross-discipline communications. Police officers were able to communicate with firefighters across New York and with other officials in New Jersey closing airports. However, cross-jurisdiction communications challenges were evident. Specifically, emergency officials that came to provide mutual aid could not communicate with local first responders on their own radios. After the storm, the Department of Homeland Security, in coordination with the National Council of Statewide Interoperability Coordinators, SWIC, convened a panel to identify lessons learned. Among the recommendations generated were increased cross-border exercises and aligning statewide interoperability coordinators with the communications emergency support function leads. Although challenges remain, I was pleased to shine a positive light on the progress made when in June, at my invitation, the subcommittee convened a hearing to look at the Super Bowl 48, which was held outside of Newark, New Jersey. At that hearing, the committee learned about the significant progress that has been made in addressing the lessons learned from Hurricane Sandy. Indeed, interoperability communications was one area that many federal officials and local first responders highlighted. I want to thank the Office of Emergency Communications for its assistance in helping first responders in New Jersey and their partners in New York plan, coordinate, and execute effective interoperability plans for that event. That said, the progress made is in jeopardy. In recent years, states could rely on Interoperability Emergency Communications Grant Program to support their statewide interoperability coordinators, SWIC, and other communication governance structures. But that program has been eliminated, and other sources for federal support are scarce, particularly since the State Homeland Security Grant Program and Urban Areas Security Initiative are not funded at the levels they once were. When I joined this panel last year, I was surprised to learn that my state of New Jersey did not have a SWIC. Now I understand that a SWIC has been named, but is one of many hats worn by this official. The challenge of funding SWIC is not unique to New Jersey. Other states are facing the same funding challenge, and as a result, there is very real risk that important governance structures that have taken over a decade to build will be abandoned. That is why today I am introducing the Statewide Interoperable Communications Enhancement Act, or the SWIC Enhancement Act. This legislation will ensure that states maintain the progress we have made towards achieving interoperability by preserving the governance structures necessary to make the communications technology work. These structures are key to achieving interoperability using existing technology and the networks and to realizing the full potential of the National Public Safety Broadband Network. Before I close, I want to make it clear, interoperability challenges are not unique to state and local governments. Federal agencies share the same struggles. In November 2012, the Department of Homeland Security's Office of Inspector General reported that DHS lacked the cross-component interoperable communications capability. I introduced H.R. 4289, the DHS Interoperability Communications Act, with Chairwoman Brooks to require the Department to put in place the policies and governance structure necessary to achieve interoperability between the Department's components. H.R. 4289 was passed unanimously by the House of Representatives earlier this year, and I'm hopeful that the Senate will consider the bill before this Congress closes. I want to thank the witnesses for being here today, and I look forward to your testimony. With that, Madam Chair, I yield back.